Today, financial services companies waste $5 billion annually on customer acquisition. They do that by buying oversold leads, regurgitated leads. They do that by competing with the same AdSense. In this massively disruptive world that we live in, isn't it about time that banks start to think about other ways, better ways to source leads, using tools such as artificial intelligence, machine learning? Hi, I'm Ian Foley, the CEO of acuteIQ, and we have developed a new technology that uses artificial intelligence to find active signals of businesses that may be interested in a particular loan. We're able to look through our database of 19 million businesses and find signals. And these signals are, let me show you how it works, is first of all, they come from starting with a bank. So the bank comes to us and says, hey, we want to fund companies, let's say restaurants. We want to fund restaurants also at certain size, maybe 20 million in revenue in the Pacific Northwest. What we then do is we then take that information and then find those folks in our database, looking for signals, predictive signals of businesses like that, and hand them, once we find it, the data to the actual loan officer who makes calls, contacts them. What is unique, though, is what happens next, is because we see the end-to-end process, everything from sourcing the customer all the way to actually then getting it converted, we could start to use machine learning. We could start to correlate against those that got funded and those that did not. And that's really where our expertise lies, in that constant refinement of the process. Our technology, at its core, is machine learning. We work with IBM Watson as our core. And on top of that, we have a whole data science team creating unique approaches to find these predictors. The second is the data integrations. What we're able to do is take structured and unstructured data, and on top of that, layer on other partners. So it's not just our core data with 30 fields per business. It's all this other data from people like Equifax, Experian, TransUnion. All these folks we're able to layer on and look as we see these people convert, as these businesses convert, look across that data to find these predictive signals. And finally, which is one of our core differentiators, is the story. We don't just sell a lead like Dun & Bradstreet does, which is saying, here is a contact name and here's a contact number. We create a story behind that lead. And let me give you some examples of what a story means. So let's say, for example, we're working with a bank, and a bank wants to fund restaurants. A story could be, we were able to identify that restaurants with a liquor license about to expire is a great fit for a $75,000 working capital loan. That's a story. That means when that bank vice president of relationship management calls, he can say, hey, Joe, I understand you've got a liquor license about to expire. We've got a great loan for you. Another example, trucking. So banks come to us saying, we want to find trucking or logistics companies to invest in. Here is a good example of a story where we may find that from our private data, we can determine trucks that have over 400,000 miles on their clock. A great opportunity to go out to these folks looking for a capital equipment loan. In terms of our business model, there are two parts to it. Firstly, we get paid on data fees for those leads that we bring to the table. And second, we get sales commissions on the loans that get funded for our leads. Right now, we're working with some of the top-tier banks out there. But also our approach is to expand into also the alternative lending space too. Both of these are looking for our leads to find new types of customers, using our data to find signals of businesses looking for loans. In terms of how we go to market, initially we started focusing on tier 1 customers, using our own connections and really being able to build up a very healthy customer list. But really our long-term potential is to go after the mid-market. This is regional banks, community banks. These are the people who are most feeling the impact in the marketplace right now and are looking for solutions to help differentiate themselves, finding new customers. In terms of how we compete in the marketplace, there are other companies who offer services, whether it's NerdWallet or Dun & Bradstreet. But what's different is that our whole end-to-end view, everything from that sourcing to that conversion, no one else has that view. The second is being able to create this script around the story. It's not just a lead, it's a script, it's a story. And then also it's like how we're able to not just help banks in find new leads, but also help them find declines. I think if someone gets declined, we can also help them find a placement for a decline. But then in general, our whole approach is not just machine learning, whatever it else does. It's this stack on top that differentiates ourselves in the marketplace. So to wrap up, how could you help us? We'd be delighted if you know anyone in the commercial lending teams or business teams of banks, whether it's large banks or regional banks, please come and chat to me afterwards. Thank you for your time, everyone.